All right, everything you need to know about the stress test increase. First time buyers, listen up. As you all know, the real estate market's been on fire in 2021, and everyone's been claiming for the government to step in and cool things off. Hey everybody, Stephen Ho here with the Mister Sauga real estate team at Better Homes and Gardens, and today we're going to talk about the government announcement of increasing the stress test and what it means for you. Now, they couldn't really increase the interest rates as that's going to affect the entire economy, and if you've been watching our videos, we've been predicting that they will be increasing the stress test because that's really only affecting the real estate market. So this is the announcement. Here's how it started. In 2018, the government introduced the stress test. As of January 1st, everyone had to qualify at 4.79% or 2% higher than the market rate that they were going to get. How it's going now is that the interest rate that you have to qualify for is at 5.25. That's a 0.46% increase or 46 basis point increase that you have to qualify for. Now, the government wants to protect their banks. It's not you, sorry to say, but they want to make sure that home buyers can afford their mortgage payments even if the interest rates increase in the future, and they want to make sure that the banks are protected. So does this actually help? Now, this doesn't really address the core issue of what's driving the demand. They are trying to suppress the demand, but ultimately, basic economics tells us high demand, low inventory means an increase in price. So what does this mean for buyers? To put it into perspective, this stress test is trying to limit the purchasing power or the borrower's affordability in terms of the market. To put it into perspective, the stress test is trying to limit people's purchasing power. So if you qualified for $800,000 in mortgage, in 2018, that stress test limited your budget to $600,000. Now that took a lot of people out of the bracket that they were looking into. If they were looking at freehold homes, they're probably looking at semis. If they're looking at semis, they're probably buying a townhouse, and so on and so forth. So what we saw was a huge increase in the condo activity. Prices were soaring in the condo market, and the freehold high-end homes were really suffering and taking a hit. So the stress test increase in 2021 takes effect on June 1st. And ultimately, if you qualified for $800,000 in mortgage, with that increase of 0.46%, you will now qualify for roughly $760,000. Now, this isn't as big of an impact as the 2018 announcement. This is more of a little bit security giving to the banks. So what should we expect in the market? We're probably going to see an increase in activity before June 1st. And after June 1st, there's going to be a little bit of a change in terms of buyers. After June 1st, we're probably going to see a little bit flattening of the price increases, but the market reports are still going to show huge year-over-year increases. Ultimately, the GTA has been experiencing a low inventory, shortages of supply over the many years. With a huge increase in demand and buyer preferences are changing, this is all happening when immigration is operating at about 34% of pre-COVID levels. And if you've been noticing, the government's trying to increase immigration over the next 3 years. To make up for the shortfall we saw in 2020 and right now in 2021, the government is trying to bring people back into the country. With visa students, visa workers, all have gone home. Canada wants them to come back, and they are increasing their incentives to bring people back into the country. So for the next 3 years, the government proposed that they're going to bring over 400,000 each year over the next 3 years to over 1.2 million people. Many of these immigrants are going to be professionals, or they have money so that they can come here. And what do you think the market is going to do at that point? The rental market took a huge hit, and they will probably remain fairly low until that time comes again. So should you wait to buy or sell? Now, we've talked about how there was a condo exodus at the end of last year, and what we're seeing since the middle of January is that the condo market has rebounded. And we are expecting that the condo market is going to continue to remain strong and even explode when immigration comes back. And with this stress test, again, the government limiting people's affordability, they are going to be relegated to smaller, more affordable housing. So the condo market is the most entry level, and that's where a lot of activity is going to happen. Especially with first-time buyers, you're probably going to experience a lot of competition coming into the future. As immigration picks up, affordability is more restricted. So if you are thinking of making a move this year, the market is constantly changing. We're here to help. We'd love to have a chat. Give us a shout, and let's see how we can help you find your next home.